So, John, how does a user look at their vSAN cluster to understand if it's running right or healthy as they may look at it? What's the easiest way for them to do that?
So going all the way back to vSphere 6.0 update 1 with vSAN, we introduced a health system. And so if you go to your cluster level and you go to the monitor tab, vSAN, you'll find health. And within this section, you're going to find dozens of health checks. I mean, this is not just one or two little things. And these are actually, it's kind of cool here is this is contextual. So you'll have issues that are critical or warning, they'll surface to the top, and then the giant pile of green checks will auto collapse into their subsections. And go look at these. And what you're going to find is a couple things. One, health checks are not created without a KB. They're not created in a vacuum. So in the top, if you click Ask VMware, it's going to direct you specifically to a KB with guidance. Some of these health checks can actually have remediation built in. There's a button you click. So just go through. There will be tabs. Sometimes if it's things like network configuration or performance, it'll show you, say, like the ping test between all the different hosts to make sure all the VM kernels can see each other. Or if you're doing, if there's a concern with a network partition, it might show which hosts are in which partition, time drift, which hosts have different clocks. All of this gets rolled in here. And this is stuff that previously you might have had to go to CLI on multiple hosts and run some commands to check. And instead, this is just all brought up to the forefront. Also, there's a DVR-like capability introduced in 7.8.2, a timeline. So you can actually say, okay, it's healthy today, but what was going on yesterday? And if you turn that on, you can actually go back in time and see what the health check looked like yesterday or a day before.
Yeah, that's a great new feature that we introduced, and so important when you're trying to understand what in the world happened, and especially if it's something corrected itself. It doesn't mean that you should disregard it just because it corrected itself. Now, for these health checks, does somebody actually have to update vSAN in order to receive new health checks, or how does that work?
So these health checks are automatically updated with every new vSphere version, but also note you can get bonus online health checks that will come in and be delivered over the internet. So every hour, by default, your vCenter will pull and it phones home to vcsa.vmware.com. You just need to make sure there's either a direct connection available for that through your firewall, or if you use a proxy, it's configured to allow that. And if it can make that connection, it will pull down any new health checks that are delivered. So that way you don't necessarily have to wait on the newest vSphere version to get some access to some of the newest health checks. Do note this is a complement to other solutions like Skyline Collector and Skyline Health Diagnostics that we encourage you to deploy.
No, that's a great little advantage there to making sure that, and a really great motivation for you to ensure that you have cloud connectivity and that so that you can gain that level of health awareness for your vSAN cluster.